Welcome back to the Barrels on Tuesday morning edition, 4th of May. We have two slates to break down always and every day. NBA still lasts. Regular season runs out next week. We won't have too many plays down the road. I think if I will have like 5 to 6 bets through the remaining regular season, that might be a lot. We will see. So we are breaking down all the games as always, starting with the Phoenix Suns at the Cleveland Cavaliers. 12.5 point is the spread. Phoenix road favorite. Suns won four straight, 7-3 in the last 10. They have, I think, the second worst record in the West right now, but it's super close between them and Utah. Yeah, they are half game back from Utah. Cleveland is an extra rest here, but they lost 6 straight games. Injuries on their side. Nance, Garland, Prince, a couple of other backups are also out. For the Suns, only Crowder is out and Payne is questionable. I make this 13, so I show a slight edge on the Suns, but obviously in this spot I wouldn't. I almost never lay more than 10 points with any team, and this is not really the spot to do it. But I mean, Cleveland, they are barely putting up a fight anymore. They still need to get a few losses to really get into the cream of the tanking crop there. But yeah, they are doing their part. Charlotte Hornets at the Detroit Pistons, 6.5 point spread. The Hornets just played Detroit at home. That game, that spread closed. The Hornets -8. Now Charlotte is on the road. We get a 6.5 spread. I think it's kind of fair. If we just go by numbers, I think the Hornets are a bit overpriced here, but you have to look at the big picture. They are still fighting for the playoff spot, while the Pistons are tanking like crazy. I don't think this will be competitive. The first game was a 15-point W for the Hornets. Detroit with bunch of injuries, obviously Grant, Plumlee, DSG, Okafor, Ellington, Magruder, Joseph all out. This is also 34th and a back-to-back for them. They lost 3 straight. They have the second worst record besides the Houston Rockets in the league. I won't be backing the Pistons the rest of the way, but you have to pay a little extra to back the Hornets here. Although this would be probably one of my looks of the day. If I had to make a pick today, I would probably roll with the Hornets. These teams are really heading into different directions, and one is really trying while the other is not trying at all. Brooklyn Nets at the Milwaukee Bucks, rematch from 2 days ago. Basically, this is the second and the third seed in the East. First game closed. Brooklyn +2.5. Was played in Milwaukee as well. Current spread, what we see is 2.5. The Nets are in a bit better situation. I think the rest spot did favor Milwaukee the last time out. Now they are on equal rest. No Harden for Brooklyn, but everyone else is in. Milwaukee with only just a couple of minor injuries, no starters or real rotation players are affected. The first game was won by Milwaukee by 3 points, but the Nets had the way better free throw rate and they won the rebounding battle by a pretty large margin. They just weren't hitting their shots. They had a 51% effective field goal percentage, which is extremely low for Brooklyn. If I had to take a side, I would go with Brooklyn on the money line here. I think the spread won't matter, and I would be very surprised if the Nets drop both of these games in Milwaukee. But that's just a personal lean. I'm rooting for the Bucks as I want Philly to get the first seed, and I want Philly to get to the finals eventually. And the first seed will have a way easier schedule as things are looking out right now. So yeah, I think Brooklyn moneyline is my lean, but no play from me. Sacramento Kings at the OKC Thunder, 4.5 point spread. Kings road favorites. This is a spot where I think the underdog is super live. The Kings are waving the white flag. That's official. They are now 4 games out of the 10th seed. Not just Harrison Barnes, but Fox and Halliburton are also out. So basically, three of their three best players. The expected starting lineup is right-heeled, Harkless, Holmes, and Bagley. That's bad. That team shouldn't lay for 4.5 to 5 points on the road. But on the other end, OKC, you know the drill. They have like one win in the last 10 games, one in the last 15. Only SGA and Muscala are the official injuries, and Poku is questionable, but this is the third game in 4 nights for OKC. I think the Kings will go on a big losing streak here. They can drastically improve their lottery odds if they drop a few games here. So this will really be a game that both teams will try to lose. I would grab the points with OKC. I think the Kings on the road with Barnes, Fox, and Halliburton all out. I think they shouldn't lay for 4.5, 5 points. That's off. I make this 2.5 ish. Golden State at New Orleans. Exactly same matchup as we've seen last night. 1.5 point spread. Pelicans 1.5 point favorites at home. Same game closed 1.5 last night. I think we won't really see too much movement here. A couple of interesting things. What I talked about this game a lot last night. Pelicans with a huge rebounding edge and a huge edge in free throw rate. That really came true. Pelicans had a 29.6% offensive rebounding last night, while Golden State had a 10% offensive rebounding. Pelicans had a 28 free throw rate, while the Golden State Warriors had a 13.6. The difference was that the Pelicans were shooting 16% from downtown, 16% from three-point range. Yeah, so basically Pelicans got blown out. Golden State with a 63% effective field goal percentage through the game. They were putting up tons of threes. Almost 50% of their all their shot attempts came from three-point range. I said yesterday that the Pelicans are one of the worst three-point defenses in the league, and that totally came through. Although I wouldn't go back to Golden State. I mean, you rarely win games where you are out-rebounded by this many and you lose the free throw battle by this many. So yeah, if the Pels have just a bit better day, this is a close game, and I think there is super high range of outcomes, to be honest. Dallas Mavericks at the Miami Heat, 3.5 point spread, Miami home favorite. These are two teams that are peaking at the right time. Both teams are playing really well. In the last 2 weeks, Miami is grading 5th offensively and 11th defensively in points per possession with a plus 7 point differential. They went 5-2. The Cowboys. The Mavs, through the same stretch, 7th offensively, 8th defensively, plus 8 point differential, and they went 6-2. Porzingis is out for the Mavs. That's why Miami is a decided favorite here. Miami with Hero out, but obviously he won't move the needle as much as Porzingis, and Kleber also questionable for the Mavs. And this is really not a team that can afford to lose that many bigs. So yeah, overall, I think the Heat are the deeper team, the better team. They are also at home. They are probably better coached as well, although I like both coaches a lot. But yeah, both teams rolling, and I think the spread is kind of right. I'm making this around 3. I'm very low on Porzingis. I think this year he was playing flat out bad. No defense, super inconsistent on the offensive end. Yes, he had some better games, but I still don't think he's 100% healthy. If I had to take a side, I would go with the Heat here. I think their depth is just way better, and 3.5 isn't really too many points to lay at home. Toronto Raptors at the LA Clippers, 9.5 point spread. I make it exactly 9.5. Clippers lost 3 straight games, which is really weird, although they are kind of logged into either at the 4th, they will finish at the 4th seed or better. I think the team behind them is like 4 or 5 wins out, the 5th seed. They are half a game back from Denver, who is the current 3rd seed, so we will see how that plays out. But the Clippers are fully healthy, besides Beverly and Ibaka. They are on extra rest at home. Raptors playing third game in 4 nights, bunch of injuries. OG Anunoby, Boucher, Gary Trent Jr. all out. I think this will be a one-sided beatdown. Clippers, huge rebounding edge, huge edge in free throw rate. I just don't really see how the Raptors win this, and they are really out of it. So this might be another spot where we see the Raptors just mail it in. I don't think they will need to get to the play-in tournament. This team needs an off season to rethink everything and see if they can bring some guys aboard, move Lowry, and just go forward. This team doesn't need to be in the playoffs. Clippers are top 10 3-point defense. That's also something I had to mention. I mean, if you are a good 3-point defense against the Raptors, you are likely beating them, and Clippers just have too many edges here. All right, so just summing up my thoughts, I haven't made any plays, likely not making any plays. As I said, my NBA selection will be super limited from now on. Not a lot of these games really matter. So I think the Hornets are kind of a lock to win this. 6.5 is a bit too much, but maybe if you are doing a crazy like drunk parlay, the Hornets I think are a nice piece there. I'm leaning Brooklyn. Based on the first game, I watched the game as well. Looked at the stats also. I think this will be the Nets winning it. I would play a money line if you want to get involved with that. OKC plus 4.5. I think that's the strongest look today. You can find the 5 on Bet Online. Kings missing their 3 best players on the road. They are four games out of the play-ins, but I think they have mailed it in. They need some losses to improve their lottery chances, and I think we will see them going on a losing streak here. And Clippers also will win. I wouldn't touch the Miami and the New Orleans games. These are, I think, tightly lined and just close contests overall. So yeah, OKC plus 5. That's a wager I don't mind, but likely staying away. All right, it's time for some baseball. Huge card. We are skipping the double headers. We have 2 double headers. I'm never betting double headers. You shouldn't bet double headers. The Colorado San Francisco series will be a doubleheader today, and the Cubs Dodgers. Excuse me. So yeah, we are skipping those. I start a couple of games again. I think there are some interesting ones to talk about. First one, Arizona and Miami. Smith at Alcantara. This is a bullpen game for the Diamondbacks. We don't have a line yet. I'm expecting the Marlins to open up around minus 117. So like 54%-ish implied win probability. I'm really high on Alcantara. He's one of my favorite arms, even out of this Miami starting pitching group that I really like. Him and Pablo Lopez are just amazing. So Alcantara, 3.1 ERA, 3.7 Sierra, 14% swinging strike rate, only a 22% hard hit rate, contact rate low, line drives rate are super low. Arizona still very banged up. Walker is back, but Marte and Calhoun are still on the injured reserve. So Riley Smith just a bullpen arm. He has a 5.6 Sierra so far, K rate low, only a 6% swinging strike rate. His contact rate is over 86%. Velocity down from last year. He's averaging like 3.4 innings so far per game. I think this is a standard bullpen game for Arizona. The difference between the two squads offensively, I don't think it's that huge, and Alcantara is way better than Smith. So yeah, I think Miami needs to be favored here. If we get anything better than minus 117, I will play the Marlins. White Sox at Cincinnati, C's at Hoffman. This is a game where I cannot trust either guy. Both are coming off a pretty decent game. C's probably his best game this year. But if you look at the entire body of work of both of these guys, you cannot trust them. Hoffman has a 5+ Sierra, a 12% walk rate, fastball velocity down, 33% line drive rate against left-handers, 0% K- walk ratio, a 39% hard hit rate, just terrible, and he has a bad bullpen behind him. C's almost a 12% walk rate. Fastball velocity down a bit. Some better stats for C's. He has a 12.6% swinging strike rate, which is pretty nice. He's coming off a good outing. Some analytics guy are kind of buying into C's, but I have been burned by him so many times that I'm just passing here. This total opened up at 9, moving up to 9.5 on Pinnacle. Everyone is expecting offense, and I do too. I make this a pick'em. There is no way I would pick any of these two pitchers here. I tell you that. Atlanta at Washington. Huskar Inoa at Joe Ross. Inoa minus 132 road favorite. I think he's a bit overpriced here, but he has been one of the better, more surprising arms this year. I'm not going to fade Inoa. His ERA and Sierra are both under 3. He has almost a 15% swinging strike rate. It doesn't walk anyone. Contact rate under 70%. Hard hit rates, fly ball rate, everything super good. He is really good against left-handed pitchers, left-handed batters so far. Soto might come back for this game for the Nationals. He isn't confirmed, but it's looking likely. But he's a lefty. That's why I'm mentioning Inoa killing lefties so far. Ross hasn't been terrible for the Nationals this year. He has an 11% swinging strike rate, 46% ground ball rate, 19% infield fly ball rate, which is really nice. But I mean, he has been super lucky. Tons of hard contact at 42%. He has a 370 WOBA against righties, 5.5 FIP against both sides. I'm not trusting him. The Braves are just so much better offensively than the Nationals, even with Soto back. Then I couldn't fade them. And I think Inoa is great, and the Braves are great, and yeah, they are slightly overpriced. But I'm not stepping in front of that train, and I'm not stepping in front of the Nola train either. Aaron Nola hosting the Milwaukee Brewers, minus 176. This opened up at minus 190 on Pinnacle, and we've seen Milwaukee money. I understand Yelich and Kane are both back for the Brewers. Everyone is kind of expecting the offense to switch to another gear. They were really bad so far this season. But Eric Lauer is just not a guy you can back. He has a 12 and 10% walk rate, contact rate at 84%, hard hit rate at almost 50%, swinging strike rate at just 8%. He has a 100% left on base rate so far this season and a 0% home run to fly ball ratio. That's bad. I think again, Nola is overpriced here, but I wouldn't be backing Milwaukee here. New York Yankees at home hosting the Houston Astros. Domingo Germán and Zach Greinke. I'm going with the Yankees here. I think the current minus 120 on Pinnacle is getting realistic, but you can find minus 115s, minus 118s out there. Early money came in on the Yankees, and I tell you why. So both of these offenses are in the top 6 right now in xWOBA, but the Yankees are just recently waking up. I think their current form is better and their ceiling is way better, and we will likely see them get to the ceiling pretty soon. So Herman, he had 4 outings so far, 3, 4, 6, and 7 innings. So he went 7 innings the last time out. He's going super deep into games now. His velocity was up to 94 miles per hour in the last outing. His swinging strike rate at almost 12%, walk rate only at 4.5%, ground ball rate at 46%. Really no red flags at all. He's going deep in the game, has the velocity, has the confidence, looking real good, just based on the eye test as well. Greinke is an arm I love, but I think he's slowly falling apart. We could see something like what happened with Kyle Hendricks this year. I think Greinke could be that guy next year. He will be still okay and serviceable this year, but you can see the signs. His swinging strike rate is at a career low. His ground ball rate is the worst in 15 years. His contact rate is the worst in 10 years. The Houston bullpen is okay, but considerably worse than the Yankees bullpen. So yeah, Yankees at home. I trust their starting pitcher better more. I trust the bullpen more, and I think the offense just has a higher ceiling. And yeah, this was close to a pick 'em when it opened -1.8, and it was all Yankees money. And I understand that still, if you get a -120 or better, I would be on the Yankees here, and I really like this play. Detroit at Boston, Fulmer at Pivetta. Game is off the board. Pivetta is a guy that, again, many analytics guys are liking, but I'm really not on board yet. His Sierra is over 5. He has so much regression coming to him. Betting average on balls in play against him 230, 4% home run to fly ball ratio. Yeah, he's walking 16% of opposing batters faced. Ground ball rate only at 33%. His line drive rate is 29% against right-handers with a 350 WOBA. Tigers won't do anything to you. That's his luck, basically. 82 WRC plus against right-handed pitchers. Detroit this year with a 28% K rate. I think Pivetta will likely get away with it here, but I will be fading him against better teams. Michael Fulmer, he's pitching in and out of the bullpen, but I think he has found the groove here. All the stats are way better than what we've seen from him recently. He had a couple of nice seasons a few years back, and what we see right now is really makes me remember that this is a good pitcher. I don't like that he is going in and out of the bullpen. I'm never backing guys who are making a start and pitching out of the bullpen, then making a start again. I have talked a lot about this. I think that it really needs a different skill set, mindset, load management, and mixing it is not good. But Fulmer, 3.6 Sierra so far, 13.7% swinging strike rate. His ground ball rate is nice, almost a 20% infield pop-up rate, hard contact low, velocity up 2.5 miles per hour on his fastball. He has a 1.05 whip. I really like the guy. If this was any other team than the Red Sox or any of the top 6-7 teams, I would be backing him, and I would be fading Pivetta if this was anyone else than Detroit. My line here is Boston -163. We will see where this opens. If we get a -200, I will be forced to come back on Fulmer here, but we are likely staying away. Kyle Gibson and J.A. Happ, Texas at Minnesota. Minnesota -156. This is an interesting game. I hate Happ. He's terrible. He's one of the worst pitchers this year so far. His Sierra is 5.2. He has a 7% swinging strike rate, contact rate at 85%. He got super lucky with an 86% left on base rate, 6% home run to fly ball ratio, 150 batting average on balls in play. His velocity is down. Basically, besides limiting hard contact, he cannot do anything anymore. Rangers against lefties are one of the weakest teams in the league in any split. 79 WRC plus 113 ISO. I think Happ will likely get away with it for another game, but we will be fading him down the line. Kyle Gibson has been great. He has some regression coming for him, but 12.8% swinging strike rate, 53% ground ball rate. He barely gives up hard contact. Everything is looking real nice in his profile. I'm kind of surprised. His first outing has been terrible, and he has been consistently pretty great since then. Twins with almost a 350 xWOBA, 180 ISO against righties. This is a tough matchup. One of the best offenses in the league potentially. Minnesota. I cannot back Gibson here. Sadly, he will likely not get any run support, and Happ will get away with his smoke and mirrors thing. But we will be fading Happ and backing Gibson down the line when the spot is right. New York Mets at the St. Louis Cardinals. DeGrom at Johan Oviedo. Oviedo is the number 9 prospect for the Cardinals. He's pitched 2 outings so far, has been looking great. He has an 11% walk rate, but an 18% swinging strike rate, hard contact at 27%, ground ball rate at 50%, contact rate is under 60%. He's a stud, especially against righties. Mets just fired the hitting coaches. I didn't really understand that. I have to comment on this. They are 7th or 8th in T-Max WOBA so far. I mean, if you are an organization that understands how things go and the team needs time to just catch up to the underlying metrics like xWOBA, I mean, they weren't bad. They were just unlucky, in my opinion. I think it's a rush decision. We will see. But back to this game. So Oviedo, he pitched 2 outings, one against Milwaukee, one against Philly. He just went 4 and 5 innings. So likely won't go that deep into the game. This is a 6.5 total. So the Mets, yeah, they are underwhelming offensively so far, but this total is giving some respect to Oviedo. I mean, DeGrom, we know he's the best pitcher on earth. He will give up maybe 1 run. But yeah, I don't think Oviedo will go deeper than 5 innings, and I think the Mets can wake up any day. So yeah, the Mets are overpriced here, in my opinion, but I won't be backing the Cardinals here. And this total, I think, is really sharp. I think based on what we've seen from Oviedo, he could really limit the Mets to like 2-3 runs, and we could end up with a 6 or 7 run game in the end. And yeah, that's what the total implies. Cleveland at KC. This will be a bullpen game. I don't want to butcher the name of the bullpen guy for Cleveland. Henges, maybe. Never heard his name getting spelled. And Mike Minor for KC. Mike Minor is a guy I kind of like, but I think this line is a bit whack. KC shouldn't be minus 140. I did talk about a lot about KC as a team to fade. They are 6-1 in 1-run games. Super lucky. If you look at the run differential, they have 3 more actual wins than they should have. All their pitchers are due for some regression. I'm not buying KC. Minor is nice, missing some bats, hard contact under 30%, but he pitched against really easy competition so far. He pitched at Pittsburgh, at Detroit, and those weren't as smooth games as I would like from him. So I mean, if I would back you against Cleveland or any like average-ish team, I would need the Pittsburgh and Detroit outings to go super smooth, and they didn't. Indians don't really strike out against lefties, sub 20% K rate, and they walk at an 11% rate. So bullpen game for Cleveland. This is easily a top 10 bullpen. They have a 2.6 ERA, 3.8 xFIP. Wind is also blowing in. I think this will be a lower scoring game, but I think Cleveland isn't as bad, and they walk against lefties, and maybe they will give Miners some trouble. Henges, who starts the game, 58% ground ball rate, 2.4 Sierra. Royals with an 84 WRC plus against lefties. I'm liking Cleveland here. You are getting almost plus 130 here, which I think that's kind of extreme. I like Minor, but Cleveland is the better team. They have a better bullpen. I just don't see why Minor should. This is a really close game. Like I would probably line, not probably. I'm lining this like KC minus 115, and you are getting way more than plus 115 with Cleveland. All right, Colorado doubleheader. We are skipping this. Tampa Bay at the LA Angels. McClanahan at Alex Cobb. Another interesting game where I cannot really trust either guy. Alex Cobb is one of the top positive regression candidates in the league. He has a 7 ERA, but a Sierra under 3. So that's a 4-run difference between his actual ERA and the Sierra. He has almost a 15% swinging strike rate, 49% ground ball rate, fly ball rate only at 16%, only a 6% walk rate. but he's not feeling it. In the last two games, he only went 2 innings, pitch count way higher than it should. Split finger fastball, not really getting any swings and misses. I think if we see this for one start, I think that's okay. But we've seen it 2 starts in a row. I would still probably look at LA and Cobb here. I tell you the truth. I think all the underlying metrics are looking real good, but he just looked uncomfortable in the last 2 outings, and the Rays can hit a bit. So I'm staying away. McClanahan, lefty, he had one start. Everyone was hyping him up. He went 4 innings with a 24% swinging strike rate, 50% ground ball rate, no walks, only a 57% contact rate. Oakland is a really tough. Oakland Angels are a really tough matchup against lefties, but he was pitching against Oakland in the first outing. So yeah, we will see, but I need to see more from McClanahan, and I want Cobb to get more comfortable. But this might be still like a buy low spot on Alex Cobb. I think he's decent, and the Rays don't scare me that much offensively. So if I had to take a side, I would go with the Angels, but no dice from me. Toronto at Oakland, bullpen game with K for the Jays and Irvin starting for Oakland. I'm looking at the Jays here, haven't played yet. I would need a plus 120 or better to enter the market, but it's Jays or bust for me. Irvin, the surface metrics look real nice, but he has a 37% hard contact rate, an 82% contact rate, line drive rates against both sides at 26% or higher. Just not a guy I would trust. The Jays are turning it on. They have a 118 WRC plus against lefties. With Springer in the lineup and them being super hot, I would look at the Jays or nothing here. K, he had a bad first start, but his Sierra sits at 2.6, 12.5% swinging strike rate, 61% ground ball rate, almost no hard contact, no fly balls. Jay's bullpen, I think, is one that you can trust. Overall, I'm looking at the dog here or passing. We will see. I don't think we will get to like plus 120, but if we do, I will be on the Jays. Pittsburgh at San Diego, Keller at either Weathers or Lamet. It's not confirmed, the Padres pitcher. That's why we don't have a line. I ran my numbers with a mix of Weathers and Lamet, and I make this minus 213 for the Jays. Keller has been super bad, 8+ ERA, 5+ Sierra, 14% walk rate. Line drive rate is 35% against righties with a 5.5 FIP and a 420 WOBA. I'm looking at the Padres here if this is under minus 200, but we are likely not getting a bargain. All right, summing up the looks, I think this is a pretty decent card. I'm skipping the final game. Baltimore, Seattle, no one wants to watch that. No one wants to bet that. Two untrustworthy pitchers, untrustworthy teams. It's not really worth your or my time. So I'm looking at Miami with Alcantara. Minus 117 is my line. If we get something closer to a pick'em, I will be on the Marlins here. I've bagged the Yankees. Minus 120 would be my cutoff. If you can find better than minus 120, you should be on the Yankees as well. Greinke showing signs of regression. Yankees getting better. They have the better offense, the better bullpen, and I trust Hema more than I trust Greinke. We don't have a line in the Detroit-Boston game, but I could see myself playing Michael Fulmer. I make this Boston minus 163, so I would need like a plus 175-ish or better to enter the market with the Tigers. I played Cleveland. I think even in a bullpen game, they shouldn't be like plus 120 or higher. I make them plus 115, and I have some concerns about Minor. I think this is a more difficult matchup than he faced recently. KC, huge overperformers everywhere. Basically, this is a team I'm fading. And I'm looking at Toronto in the bullpen game. I would need a plus 120. We are not there yet, but Irvin is extremely inconsistent, and I think the Jays are looking better and better, and I think they will hit Irvin. Kay did get unlucky in the first start, but I think him and Jays bullpen can get this done. And I will be looking at the Padres. Game is off the board. I would need better than minus 200 to back them. Pirates won't do anything, and Keller is a bad arm. So thanks for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow. If you want to hear my plays, you can go to patreon.com/the Barrel Zone, join the Discord channel. And yeah, that's about it. Same time tomorrow, 35-minute breakdown for both slates. Good luck with your wagers, and peace out.